someone who was biased and wanted Kels to stay, I hated that he couldn't really do anything about it.
I also didn't like that.
Now, I
understand wanting to have a second component to it, but the puzzle was like super quick.
I guess we're going
it's
to
almost not even worth it to have. Like, I think at that point, just going through the puzzle and just be like, whoever collects the pieces first wins.
Yeah, I mean,
isn't that where I'm supposed to go?
If it were, it's hard, right? If it were more complicated, it was close enough that Kels and Tracy could have overtaken Ed, at least the way it was edited and shown to us. But to Ed's credit, it did seem like he was taking advantage of being in the spotter role and looking at what the pieces were as they were coming up. Because the second they were onto the puzzle, he shouted out, like, it's a map.
Wait, why won't it let me go?
And Kels seemed to have no effing idea when you, like, looked at his puzzle, like, where anything was. So I agree with you that it was easy, but I also think it's, like, a tribute to Ed that he was, like, figuring it out as he went.
Yeah, I mean, good for Ed. He seems to have, you know, a good mind for these type of things so far. So he's certainly one to watch. I mean, they got Kels here. That's very impressive.
Okay, well, like, he's going home tomorrow. He's one to watch. Not even during an episode. I don't know how the DDs are going to score that.
Why won't it let me leave?
Yeah.
All right, so Tracy, we'll never see you again.
No.
Kels, we're hopeful.
Please, God.
This episode is brought to you by California Closets.
That's so weird.
Want to spruce up your living space? Now is the best time to put California Closets' expertise to work. From closets and home offices to garages and so much more, their expert designers will help you create a custom-designed storage solution for any room in your home. Make the most out of your space today. Visit a showroom or schedule your free design consultation at CaliforniaClosets.com.
Summer. I think Scally took Devin. I could go through it now. I'll get the beep, but when you take Devin, you never think, oh boy, he's going to get stolen a lot. I got to worry about those points.
That's hilarious. I didn't even think of that. Let me look at what if Michelle said anything else about this. I feel like she said something about this from the after show. No. Okay, never mind. Sorry. I'll say this after.
All right. So for the scoring, so for this week, for you, you got you lost a half point. Because, well, just for this, within this particular week, lost a half point. Emmy won elimination, but also got left by their partner, which, yeah. So that was an interesting twist we didn't think about going into the season, because technically she did get left by her partner, but it's weird. It's a weird setup.
No, but I think that's fine. They both got, like, nobody fought for the other. They both left each other. It's fine.
So when do you think someone's not going to steal? When is that going to happen?
When it's like Amanda and Kyle, I think it has to be maybe at Josh and, well, at least Josh and Amber B. I think Amber B likes loyalty and likes someone who wants to stay with her, so I think she would probably stay with her partner. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of who are two veterans together. Esther and Fessy might stay together. Casey and Emmanuel might stay together. Like, who's doing what?
I just want to see a scenario where one person wants to leave and the other person wants to stay. See how that plays out. I would imagine you would both have to turn the key to stay, but I kind of want to see that play out.
Yeah, no, I would like to see that too. And I think you should both have to turn your key to leave. I would rather see two people trapped in a relationship than have
that could be good too.
Two people split. I think it's better TV to have them have to stay.
Yeah. All right, so that was for you. And then you also were given 2 points last week for Amber B not being on the season, but that was removed because she is now officially on the season.
Yeah.
Let's see. For Scally, he got a point for no confessional from Huey. But then, again, amazingly lost half points from Devin and Tori, the unstoppable duo of being stolen. Just incredible. Big week for Mr. Matt Lagori. He lost both Tracy and Kels. Amazing. The two picks that were criticized the most, Kels and Michaela, both gone. Here we go. 2 weeks into the season. So that's how much we know.
Brutal.
So those are 3 points each. Lauren, 2 points for leaving via not elimination. Lost a point for Ed for winning elimination, but gained a half point back for Ed leaving his partner. And then for myself, I got 1 point each for Casey, Gabo, and Kyle for no confessionals. Amazingly, Kyle did not get a confessional. Not amazing that Casey did not get a confessional.
Great recap. Excellent.
So for the season, for the season. I am at 9. You are at -1, so we're at a combined 8. Matt is at 11.5. Scally's at -2 for a combined 9.5. So they have a slight lead on us, but long ways to go.
Long ways to go, and I think we're still... Well, the DDs, we don't have clarity because we forgot, as a unit, the 4 of us. When we say it's the first 4 people, I think we mean the first 4 eliminations. So since they're getting eliminated 2 by 2, it will be... We're still in the 3-point phase, but you guys let us know.
Yeah, so they said we've now had 4 people eliminated by challenge, so the next 4 out will receive only 2 points instead of 3.
I don't think that should be the case, but...
Yeah, I think it was more implied, yeah, because I think we were assuming 1 by 1 goes, but...
Yeah, we thought we'd take it to episode 4, so I think the season should be broken out in, like, episode 4 instead of 2 episodes.
Yeah. So now that's by pairs, it should be kind of doubled for everything.
But certainly push back if you disagree.
Yep.
We don't have a drinking game update this week, but I will note that I will be the Kyle this week and say that my rule hit a definite ding on James Bond style music behind the challenge.
We even had a specific James Bond reference. So whoever was called, is that TJ or is that James Bond?
And imagine me remembering your rule, so I didn't keep track of it.
I think mine was like anytime someone's eating. I'm sure that happened. I don't really recall off my head. But I do have a new rule for this week. We could add it going forward. Anytime they mention the Veteran Alliance, take a drink on that.
Whew. All right, I'm going to do anytime you ship a couple, and not just like, oh, you see like Kyle and Amanda on TV and you're like, I ship them. Like if there's romance a brewing, cheers to love. But only if you ship them, not if you're like, ooh.
Okay.
That's it. What do you want?
That's it.
Another update from Michelle. Thanks again for picking up our Slack. She's recommending it and saying it's actually really well done. They talk about a lot of fun stuff. One thing they talked about after one of the episodes that was really funny, Amanda tricked Kyle into being her partner. Kyle was trying to get one of the Survivor girls, and when he was running and looking for them, Amanda told him they all got canceled, and she told him to pick her.
That's very funny.
That's what we're missing out on. So we will cover that next week for show. Megan Elizabeth also off this week. So I pulled a couple of quick tweets to wet the whistle. I'm really channeling Bryce tonight. It's a massive compliment to myself. Okay, so this was one of the funniest things. I saw this earlier in the week, and I remembered it, so I went to Joss's Twitter. Fessy tweeted, can someone tell Amanda to call me back, LOL? And Joss retweeted it and said, good luck, I'm still blocked, ... laugh cry emoji. Remember that?
I feel that pain being blocked.
By Cara Maria?
Yeah, just in general.
Okay, are you blocked a lot?
I think so.
Okay. Who's blocking you?
I don't know. I have to do a deep dive to see who's blocking.
Should I talk to them?
I think so. Why the hell did Alexa just turn on? That was creepy as hell. Scared the shit out of me. Oh my god.
I got you.
Continue. Sorry about that.
So Amanda had some very funny rapid fire tweets during the episode. Proud of you, Fessy. Kiss emoji. Hashtag Politicker. Tilted laugh cry emoji. Nelson called her Bertha. I'm dead. And then I got too hammered that night. I wish I was there for you, sis. Crying emoji. She was not there. She was nowhere to be found for the fight with Amanda. I'm sorry, with Ashley. And then this was crazy because of the point you brought up earlier that Amanda was like egging the situation on and kind of defending Kells by being like, well, who's saying he made deals? Amanda said, wait, why is Tori laughing at Kells talking shit to Josh? Fake friend alert. Red alert emoji.
Wait, fake, so she's a fake friend to Josh?
Yeah, but like Amanda, I would say was defending Kells in that elimination.
Right.
In that vote.
I don't think Tori's even says she's that friendly with Devin. I mean, with Josh. I mean, she's openly said she was friendlier with Kells, so... And of course, Kells are just openly funny. I think even, like, a lot of people were laughing at Kells' comments because they were, you know, objectively hysterical.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you are not laughing at that, like, go home.
Yeah, I mean, Josh, I mean, he's called the goof for a reason. This is what happens.
speaking of goof, file this under that. Nothing, here's from Josh. Nothing personal at all. Respect to both Kells and Tracy. In the name of the game, this is what we call checkmate. So he kind of Brianed it a little bit there by saying in the name. I think he meant that this is the name of the game, but instead he said in the name of the game. But like, that's not checkmate. Like, you got your predetermined pre-game massive alliance to vote out the strongest dude in the house who was not in your alliance.
All right, let's see if
that
we
is,
can
I mean,
pay
not
off
to
this
Kells,
one.
but for him, that is the definition of winning the battle, but not the war. So, long way to go, Mr. Joshua.
So as we said, Michelle and Corey L are together. I loved when Corey was like, Michelle L and Corey, like, right? He was like Corey and Michelle L. That was a Tory. That was a Tory.
Yeah. And so I guess so Brian is a thing. That's for me.
No, I was just trying it out.
Yeah, it works.
We all have our things. Michelle and Corey exchanged a lot of love. Corey said, "My new partner is my queen, Ash at Mishvitz. We did it once, let's do this again." She retweeted that and said, "I'm reunited with a king, and so I am home."
Not looking good for them next week. As one of the few rookie teams. Not looking good.
Well, Corey said, "If I have to have another rookie as my partner in this game, I'm so glad it's Michelle. I trust her. We already won together once. There's no doubt in my mind we could do it again." And Michelle said, "I believe in fate, and I believe my fate was to be with Corey." That's it.
Alrighty. Did you see the ratings for the season are not good.
Really?
Lowest rated episodes in the past 10 seasons. AKA the past 6 years. Big decline over the past 2 seasons.
Shit.
Like, including last season was a decline from the season before?
No, like this is a decline from
Okay,
last season
so
and the
that's
season
more.
before.
That's crazy. Is that a reflection of... Well, I do think a lot of people are probably mad about the new cast. Like, such a majority new cast.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of new people. Middle of summer, which makes no sense. Going up against Big Brother.
Oh yeah, we
There's
said this was bad. We said this was bad.
Yeah, no, it makes no sense. But again, they don't even put their after show on freaking Paramount Plus, so. Yeah.
That, you don't even know. You didn't even look for it.
No, I did. I looked for it while you were talking. It's not there. It's only on YouTube. It's a YouTube exclusive, even though they have their own freaking streaming service.
They only put it on a free service instead of behind a paywall, and Brian's pissed.
It just makes no sense. It's like what Survivor does. Why don't they put like all their like extra? They had this platform that like they're desperately all these networks trying to get people to subscribe to, and they have these reality shows with hours and hours of extra footage that diehard fans who would pay for this streaming service just to watch that content, they don't utilize it. I do not understand it.
All right, well, that's been Brian's one-star review of streaming network dynamics. Let's get to our reviews. Thanks to everyone who sent us out of the last season strong. We achieved our 950 ratings goal for the season. I forget when we wrapped up the last season, but thanks to CC Taylor 826, Teeny Little Meanie, KK All Day Every Day, we might have already thanked you, but we can't thank you enough for your reviews. And then Danny Boy's mom left us a beautiful, amazing review titled, "I look forward to this pod. It was great."
Is it this one? It might be this
3 stars. So, Danny, if that was an accident, Danny's mom, you know, it was great to read your nice words. And a 3-star review is not going to hurt us ultimately, but, you know.
Ooh, that was a nice humble brag.
Yeah, we're doing great. But if you want to get us off, we were charting last week. We're doing amazing. It's been a strong start. The challenge is the lowest reviewed it's ever been, but we're on the upswing, baby. If you want to get us started off on the right foot, you can leave us a review at robhasawebsite.com/challenge iTunes. You can subscribe there.
So that's it for us.
Listen wherever podcasts are distributed. We don't really care, but we're happy to get the reviews.
Goal is 1,000.
Why would you do that? That's not how you play Survivor. Like, it's bad gameplay, but bad play.
Oh, I'm really far behind on these top 40 podcasts. It's literally from 2 months ago.
I don't know if they were answered on the show or if we might have to speculate, but could you switch with your loved one if they got voted out after the merge, Mary? Do you know? I know it was the case in the pre-merge, but when Sierra voted out her mom, could she potentially have switched with Laura after Laura got voted out?
They stopped saying that at that point. I know that and maybe that's just because they realized for editing they don't need to do what they do in
Yeah.
Borneo and restate the rules every single episode, or if it did change. I don't know for a fact that they couldn't have, but they do stop mentioning it on the show.
Drugs.
I will say, like, during the Laura M episode, like the first redemption after the merge, like Tino, Jeff was about to ask Tina, "Hey, Katie, do you want to swap?" But Tina like shut it down real quick. So I think afterwards he's still good.
He's still good. Okay, and then AJ, do you just have one shot at switching? Like, if you didn't want to switch with your loved one when they first got there, but maybe you come back and you realize, you know what, I do want to switch. Your loved one's having a hard time. You want to switch. Was it on one time only?
I say, why not? If they want to switch later on, let them switch. Like, let's have some fun.
Yeah, Mary, would that break the
What
game?
I currently have on?
I think it's the same kind of thing as, like, Monica giving up a reward and giving it to everybody. Like, that's not normally how it works, but I think sometimes Jeff's just waiting for the right pitch. If someone says, you know what, Tyson says, I didn't want to switch with Rachel last time, but she wins the thing, and now he wants to switch the next round, give her a break. I don't think that Jeff is saying no on that. I think they were really hoping someone would, and we don't technically get anyone switching while they're on Redemption Island, but would have been interesting.
Like, for instance, okay, Hayden and Kat. Hayden, like, takes a look at, like, the puzzle, like, all right, let me go in there for Kat, and then she's back in the game for that round. Then could they switch back?
I would love that. I would love that if they could just keep switching back and forth.
But if you both get out, you're both out. Like, you're both on redemption. There's no way to get back in. That might be an interesting idea for if they ever do this again. So
that would be like Survivor's Second Life or Survivor Phone a Friend.
Yeah. So it might be a long season.
Peters, take care of Kat for me. And then Kat's voted out next.
That'd be interesting.
All right,
So
we haven't talked too much
back?
about Tyson yet, who is the winner of the season. AJ, what do you think about Tyson this time through?
I had so much love for Tyson this time through, and I forgot how much I enjoyed him because I haven't watched Tokyo recently. But Tyson is so much fun this season, and I think he really was like on cruise, like in the first half of the season. Like while Rachel was still in the game, or except for when Rachel got voted out, he was basically chilling, living his best life. But once he got to the merge, he like changed it to a different gear, and he was both being like silly, fun Tyson, the Tyson that will throw Aris under the bus in front of Aris, like that type of guy who's making funny jokes, telling Katie, "Oh, that's your seat over there," but also being like the strategic mastermind of the season, basically. So I think Tyson did a really good job this season. I think Tyson's best game so far, one of his most fun situations, and he lasted to the end. So we got a lot more Tyson than I think we deserve.
He definitely adds the jovial attitude and feeling of the season. I think that's like a big inflection point on it. He's a great narrator.
Should we talk to Joyce?
Winners of War you can kind of look at separately, but in his first 3 seasons, I think he has like a perfect arc of the first time he's on, he's coming out to play a goofy character more so than trying to win the game. The second time he comes out, he keeps a lot of that goofy attitude, but he's like, you know what, I'm gonna actually try this time. I'm gonna buddy down with Rob and you learn some strategy, and then this time he's like, okay, outwardly we're gonna be goofy, but your brain, you're not gonna take a break. He says the finale, like, the previous times I would get tired of the strategy, and so I would go take a nap. It's like there were no naps this time, it was all strategy, and I think he talks about it sometimes goofily when it comes down to like looking up bandits and stuff, but I think the truth of the matter is he knew that he needed to stay on top of the strategy this time around.
Yeah, as a character on the show, he does a really great job with, he's having an emotional moment, but then he's also able to like break the tension like with a joke while he's having an emotional moment. So it makes him fun to root for during the season. The thing that really came to mind as I was like watching this, and really over the last couple of weeks of the countdown, I've been thinking a lot about the structure of an alliance where, I think in our minds, like when we think about you want to have an alliance on Survivor, sort of like identify like, oh, well, who are the other good players and I should work with them. But I don't think that that's sort of like the ideal construction for an alliance. Like you maybe want to have like one other good player in your alliance, and then you want to round out your alliance with some combination of like mediocre players who are like good enough to like logically follow the script of what you're trying to do, but like
However, if you
not
felt
so
like casting
terrible
some
that they end up blowing the plans a la Keith Nail. And so Tyson and Jervis have this alliance with Monica, and Monica is a loyal soldier, but
How
to
can I stop
keep
you?
a lot of these plates spinning
not
that they
human?
have, like with
Are we not
Hayden and
curious
Caleb,
to
they
hear
have to
another
do a lot of
person's
sort of
take?
like, oh yeah,
It's only
Monica, she just
natural.
does whatever
We would only be
you know, we tell her to do. But
gossiping.
they're also like trying to like pull the wool over those guys, and then but they can't like bury Monica so much that she actually believes what they're saying about her when things get back to her. So, Mary, this was like a real tightrope that Tyson and Jervis had to walk all season long with, you know, making other people think that Monica is expendable, but keeping Monica feeling like she's actually part of the core.
Unhindered exchange
I think
of
people
information,
talk about
you see,
winning
even when it
Survivor
comes
and
to trade
how the game
secrets.
involves a lot of luck, and I think luck is in the form of Monica Culpepper this season. They get very, very lucky to have someone who stays loyal when all signs point in the other direction.
It would be fine.
Where a person
But they
who
don't.
is
Since you logged the money as
Monica's
a donation,
a very
and this
emotional
is
person,
clearly
but she's
just
not
gossip
necessarily
between
actually
friends.
that much of an emotional player. She's not swayed with the hey, they're mean to you, let me flip sides. And I kind of did the math as I went of thinking, like, is there ever a moment where Monica should have actually flipped? Where is there a point where she should have done what maybe Sierra did and changed sides? And I think when it comes down to it, you look for Monica and you're like, yeah, maybe these guys have been rude to me.
Helpful
But
of him.
if I flip, I'm in the same position with a different group of people who I know less and who I've been
how
with
is
less.
that going?
So I really, really feel for Monica. I think that Tyson and Jervis get very lucky to have someone like her, and they're very fortunate that she doesn't get more upset with them than she did. I don't know what their relationships ended up being like after the season, after watching it and hearing some of the things. I think Jervis and Tyson didn't necessarily need to play all of the mean kid cards. There's a way to make the rest of the alliance feel like that person is expendable and just a vote without necessarily being rude about it. We don't really know exactly what was said throughout. There's Sierra and Hayden saying that they're the villains, and they were saying rude, evil things, and then there's Tyson saying, no, I never said this, I was just kind of implying, and the fact that I got you, like, you're not lying. And so,
oh wow, that worked.
I think that can be helpful to pull other people in, to, people love to gossip and love to gang up on other people, and they feel like that bonds them together. Especially in Survivor, we see that a lot of like, do you stay completely moral, or do you join in on poking fun at someone if it's going to help you in the game? We see that way more in Big Brother, but it certainly happens here. So, yeah, the Monica thing is really, really interesting, and hopefully, we see her role in this alliance be probably the most important. I think what you're saying about Jervis being like that backboard to bounce off strategy, like Tyson's going to need someone to talk the nitty-gritty through as well, and I think Jervis does a really great job at that. I think the key is that Tyson has to play the whole game thinking, if I do get to the end with Jervis, though, I still need to be able to beat this person. And I think that you want your number two, your person who you can bounce the strategy off of. You either need to get rid of them at some point in the game, or just always play the game with the attitude that you can beat them, and with hoping that
really takes forever.
that, has that same image of them as well.
I think something that Tyson and Jervis does really well is making people feel comfortable. Like, if you look, Monica was like, I am number 3. You look at Sierra's like, I'm number 3. You look at Hayden and Caleb until they flip, they was like, we're going to the final 4 together, and then we'll duke it out. You look at Lauren, it's like, we're going to go to the final 6, and then there's 3 pairs, and we're doing it out. Like, they all feel like they are in a position where they're either in the end, or have a good shot of getting to the end with a good fight. And I think someone like Monica, I think that's interesting, because she is an emotional person. I am too, so I understand. But she also has a strategic mind where her emotion will come out first, but she'll use her brain to like decide what her footprint should be. Like, I don't know where's the point. Like Mary said, where should she have put? Like, I think she made the right decision almost every time, if not every time. So I think they did a good work, especially remember Professional where Tyson was like, I show Monica more attention and
I don't really care.
So he did a good job of coddling that relationship and making sure that Monica is loyal. Because I feel like if someone else like did enough, Monica might have been able to like, hey, it might be smart for me to go with this person because I have a
I really need
situation
cash
with them,
at
but
this
they did
point.
not show Monica the
It's
type of
nearing the
progression
end
that
of the
she did
day.
that
Like,
Tyson
it's
did.
not ideal.
Yeah, both Jervis and Monica have the same problem in that they are probably both
Not
drawing
long
dead
at
against
all.
Tyson, and there's no way to either get rid of Tyson and then not lose the majority, because whoever comes back from Redemption Island is going to be, it's either going to be Aris, Vetus, Tina, Katie, somebody who's going to go and join back up with the people that are working against Jervis and Monica. And then they're also, so they're going to lose to Tyson, and then if they vote out Tyson, they're going to get picked off because whoever comes back from Redemption Island is going to be more numbers for the other side. So both of them are in this same sort of predicament, and neither one is able to figure out like what the answer to the question is.
So the way the votes break down, and it's that critical merge boot of voting out Aris, it really sets up Tyson and Jervis to create like an us versus them mentality, even if it's not as strong as, OG Redemption Island, but it's like we can't not be together because they're all going to be mad. Vetus is now never going to work with us again since we got out Aris. We've split up the pair thing with, Katie and Tina, and Sierra, Laura might be mad at whatever the situation is. So they really do set this perfect domino situation up with every vote in that particular order, where they get desperate and they're like, well, we have to cling to where we've got now because any of these other people left in the game, look at the jury, look at all the votes they're going to have. We can't send them to Redemption Island, that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
I also think it also really helped because Aris and Monica, not Aris, Jervis and Monica never thought, I can't beat Tyson. And I think that goes along with the Aris vote because we come back. Tina and Vetus is like, Tyson, we will not vote for you in the end no matter what. Like, if they have a perception that the jury will be bitter against Tyson, I think they realize, maybe it's not the worst thing if I hitch my wagon to this horse. Like, I know Jervis is also culpable and Monica got attacked by them too, but they were really threatening Tyson with their jury votes at the end. So I think I can see why they think they might have a shot with Tyson, but once Hayden's like, if you don't get Tyson, he's winning the game. I feel like you gotta realize, this might not be the best.
I'm trying to get to the
but even then,
thought
Hayden
bubble
said that,
thing.
where were they supposed
Fuck
to turn?
off.
So
There we
it
go.
was like, Tyson did good this season.
Did a great job. Mary, anything else big picture before we start to take a look back through the episodes?
I'd say one thing to keep in mind when we look at these episodes is the pros and cons of people's social strategic game in terms of how they handle other players, how they speak to them, who is good at kind of reading the room, reading the person, and knowing how to change their pitch based on them, and who's not good at that. And I think we see some really great examples and some really horrible examples.
Oh, shit.
So I think that's one thing that's interesting to point out.
This is the beginning. I'm assuming this is the front of the building.
Down every episode of Survivor Blood vs. Water with Mary and AJ coming right up. But first, let me thank our sponsors for this episode of the podcast. First, I want to thank our friends over at Hyundai who questioned everything to create the best Tucson ever. Questions like, is a blood versus water season the best name for this type of thing? What else could they have come up with? I don't know, Hyundai. You tell me. Every inch of the new Hyundai Tucson has been completely reimagined, resulting in an SUV loaded with available innovations, both inside and out, from design to technology to safety.
Oh, are we on the top?
Every aspect of the new Tucson has been improved upon. Tyson lives near Tucson. The SUV has been completely redesigned.
Oh, so this is that area. Okay, interesting.
Tucson ever. Things like tech, including a digital key, which allows you to use your phone as a spare key, and LED daytime running lights, which are stylishly hidden like the immunity idols within the front grille, making them invisible when not in use. Plus, they have user profiles with a 10.25-inch full-touch infotainment screen. The Hyundai Tucson packs in plenty of cargo space and safety features galore.
Actually, why am I listening to this?
If you have questions about the Hyundai, so if you're feeling more affordable than AJ, did you like 9 there? We can really balance our ones. Spend a night together before the game started.
Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention.
No, it wasn't for me. I feel like I get it, cute. Oh, let me establish our relationship and stuff, and say what this experience means to me. Well, pause. I love Jervis and Marissa together. They were so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
But like, besides those two, I really was like, we can really yada yada through these day zero things.
Mm-hmm. What about as far as these pairs that get brought back? Is it
So close.
is it 9 pairs or is it 10 pairs here in this season?
10 pairs.
10 pairs in this season. Mary, any misfires that stand out for you?
So fucking close.
I think there's some that we are definitely seeing only for certain reasons. I'm not sure if Kat would have been the number one person to bring back if Hayden wasn't her boyfriend.
Can I just say, in Kat's defense, and she doesn't have a lot here in this season. She does that, and the reunion is so bizarre. But that when we watched Survivor One World, she had so many lines and moments of, like, I get it. It's like 3 people from Survivor One World was a lot to bring back here in this season, but overall, that she did have a lot of great confessionals.
And she goes on to say several things this season that are very, very quotable, and they're also quoting her from season 1. There's a lot of touche talk. So I like Kat. I think it's more of that.
Hayden was the draw, though.
Yeah, I dislike.
I don't think that was the case, though.
When you're looking at that, I think Caleb turns out to be such a gem. May he rest in peace. But I understand the appeal of bringing back Colton. I don't know if it would have been my choice. And then I think that the main other one is the Jervis Marissa thing. I just wish we had seen more of them, and I wish we had seen, like, that's, like AJ was saying, the beauty of the night 1 or night 0 kind of thing, but I wish we had gotten some of them together. There's a couple moments with them at the finale.
Oh shit, we're right past 30.
Like in the reunion, and I just wish that we'd seen more of their dynamic throughout.
I would like to go on, and I think if you look at the 10 pairs, I don't know how many of those pairs you're like, I understand why both of them are on here. You're like, okay, this was the person they really wanted, and then it's like, we're also going to bring this person. Like, there are a couple of them, and I think if you're looking preseason, the biggest question mark will probably be like Laura and Sierra, but then we see what Sierra becomes in the Survivor Lexicon, so we understand why, but I think it's like, oh, you got to have Tyson back. Oh, you got to have Rupert back. Oh, Tina saw this great job, and then like Mary
we want
said,
Brad Culpepper.
I feel like Jeff saw Brad Culpepper. He was like, oh my god, get on my island now. Like, he loved Brad Culpepper.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because a lot of the players have different sort of edits than they had in their first season. And going back to Survivor One World, Monica Culpepper in Survivor One World was really, like, edited to be, like, such a gift to Survivor. And when they were talking about getting rid of her,
you know,
it was like, are these people crazy? Monica's the only person who she wins challenges, and she's such a competitor. And so it was pretty wild to see her back here in this season, and then Kate did a little bit